sharp edge, and overall it's never given me any kind of rusting problems, any kind of sharpening problems, maybe a little bit tough to sharpen, but for the most part it's a great steel. And the reasons why are it's got like a high amount of carbon, which, you know, makes it harder, and it allows the edge to be maintained for a longer period of time. It improves the wear of the knife. The other key ingredients in the knife steel are molybdenum, however you pronounce that steel, chromium, and vanadium. And all of those basically just add to its strength, its corrosion resistance, and its toughness. So overall you've got a knife with a lot of blends of hard elements. So you get a strong wearing steel, an unfortunately difficult to sharpen steel, but when you get used to it, or if you have like the Spyderco triangle sharpener and a good amount of free time on your hands, you can get it right back to the shaving sharp edge it came with right out of the box. And again, almost every single Spyderco I've had has come at least shaving sharp right out of the box. Even some of the bird knives I have come with that kind of quality. So there you go, Spyderco, you do it right. There's a thumbs up. Let's move on to the blade shape. I guess I've already talked about this, but again, with the S30V steel, it's awesome. It doesn't wear, it definitely doesn't rust, as far as I know. I'm not really in a wet environment or salty environment or anything like that. I haven't tested it in that extreme. I'm sure it would rust a little bit, but for the most part it doesn't, at least from what I've used it, and I've used it for years now. The shape of the blade, oh, well actually let's go with the grind, the full flat grind. As you can see here, it goes right from the back edge of the blade and moves right to the tang, or just above the spider hole anyways. Both sides, nice jimping there. Very effective jimping, by the way. I'll mention that right now before I forget it. Great jimping on the edge. Catches your thumb. There's a little bit extra here, kind of for aesthetics, I guess. It doesn't really do much. On the finger choil down here, jimping as well. Not that you'd move up in a finger choil usually anyways. It's pretty well constructed. But if you need to choke up on the knife, you can choke up on the knife. That does well. Let's go with back to the full flat grind here. Because the knife has a grind that goes from the edge of the blade all the way to the spine of it, it's ideal for slicing and dicing. You can cut through most food prep items, so I don't know, tomatoes, onions, all the regular stuff you'd use, with ease. Sharp edge, great knife, just long enough to get through a full-size tomato or apple, whatever you're going to be using it for food prep. Again, remember, it's not a kitchen knife. It's not going to do as well as, you know, J. Henkel's chef's knife or whatever you want to throw out there. It's not going to be a kitchen knife, but it is usable. I do use it every day because it's quick and easy. What can I say? You rinse it off afterwards and it lasts a long time. The other thing is it's kind of a refined blade. As far as I know, the original paramilitary knives, they were a little bit bulkier. They had a nice looking blade. I think they kept true to the full flat grind, and they gave it a very good point, a very nice taper. However, they've slimmed it up a little bit for this model, the paramilitary 2, and they've taken away that weird, here, I'm just going to collapse it, that weird blade tang that kind of stuck out from the back when they first introduced it. You know, maybe I'll throw in a picture or something, or you can look it up. I'll send links or something like that in the description. But it had a very large tang that stuck out right here, and obviously that looks ugly, and it was not a very attractive feature. Now they've gotten rid of it, replaced it with this kind of dugout design here that incorporates itself into a secure lock with one of the spacers, as well as the compression lock locks it in place, and it doesn't move anywhere at all. No movement, solid knife. I feel confident, even prying on this a little bit, I don't want to, but hey, if it ever happens, I'm not going to feel bad about it. The knife can take a beating, I'm sure. Anyways, back to the straightness of it. It's pretty thin. In fact, if I bring up the Native and I compare them side by side, the Native's blade thickness from edge to back is a little bit higher, so it's thicker. It's about the same thickness overall, but it's just a different way of being thick, I guess. When it comes right down to it, it's a great shape. The point is crazy. It has a very large edge. I don't know if that's just my knife, or if that's all the paramilitary 2s. I don't know, maybe some info down below, comments for anybody who has one. If you got an edge like this, you're a happy camper, because that's a huge edge. Don't have to back that one off at all. It's beautiful. Cuts insanely well. Just as a comparison here, the Native has good edge, but I can't even pick it up right now. Sorry, light's reflecting and whatnot. But there, you can see right there that it has an edge, and like most knives, that edge is good looking. But when you got an edge like this, wow, that's a beauty. Alright, so again, the shape, that kind of like a drop point leaf cutout type deal, awesome. Great design, Spyderco. Speed of deployment, might as well talk about that. You guys saw right there, I just did some sort of spider drop type thing. The compression lock is nice. And with that being said, because there's a compression lock, there's no liner in the way, so the handle is completely ambidextrous for the most part. I mean, the liner lock, of course, you'd be using your thumb for your left hand, and you use your index finger for your right hand if you're doing it one-handed. Thumb hole, what am I talking about? Thumb hole here, 14 millimeters, big one. It's great for gloves, great for bigger hands, smaller hands, and as you can see right there, easily deployed, very easily deployed, fast, lightning fast. Don't need an automatic knife if you got speed like that. And that's not even at full speed. I've got my hands in front of a camera here, and it's like, I don't know, it's just that. So yeah, fast. Lock up, unreal, just no movement. Solid knife, again I'm saying it. This compression lock here does great. And since I've talked about it so much, let's actually get into that, since I guess I'm talking about the lockup and the strength of the knife. Check it out. How it works is basically, I don't know if it's exactly the same. I don't want to say it's exactly the same as a liner lock, but it does feel the same. I'm going to pull out just a knife that's kind of sitting here on the table. I didn't plan on bringing it into the mix, but this is a knife that's been destroyed. I have hacked and destroyed this knife. It's flimsy, broken, and it only cost me 20 bucks when it first came out. It's the Spyderco Bird Raven, and it was the original model that I have filed off, through use. All the black, so now it is silver, and it has some black everywhere, and the edge and the blade is all torn up and dirty and broken because I've used it lots. And this is a fantastic knife. I'm probably going to review it, even though this one's kind of in piece of crap condition. But it's the closest thing I've got right now with a liner lock, so I might as well show it to you. So as you see with the liner lock, the internal frame of the knife actually kind of hinges forward. They cut it and they bend it so it's formed pointing inwards. When you move it aside, the blade can come down and secure itself in a locked position. When you open the knife, that part flanges out because it's been heat treated to stay in that spot, and it keeps the blade from moving. In this case, no, it does not. But in every other Spyderco knife I have, which is many, and you'll probably see many, they have great liner locks. I've never been a fan of them with other knife companies, but Spyderco, I've always trusted them, and they've never done me wrong. So anyways, when it comes to this this compression lock here, I believe it's the same principle. They cut it, and in a different fashion, of course, and put this kind of integral locking mechanism in a cutout of the handle material, which in this case is the G10. So that way you press it aside, it allows that tang, which